plays and dunks.
That's right. John Morant is in the studio for NBA Today. He'll tell you what he was thinking while throwing down his best dunks and reminisce on the one that got away. And speaking of dunks, they were the story of the NBA on Monday night, so who better to break them down than Vince Carter? Vinsanity takes us to the upper room. And LeBron James is questionable tonight versus the Spurs, so Woj is live on how the Lakers are dealing with his ankle injury. NBA Today starts right now. Your new home for the NBA on ESPN. I'm Malika Andrews. That's Shanae Agumake. That is Vince Carter. Zach Lowe is going to be joining us later, as well as John Morant. And Vince, can you guess which of Ja's highlights reminded him of you?
The alley-oop.
All right, well, we're going to see. We're going to get into that later in the show. But we start with a developing story on LeBron James. He has been downgraded to questionable for tonight's game in San Antonio with a sore right ankle. James suffered the ankle injury in Sunday's loss to the Grizzlies after a collision with Desmond Bane. It's the same ankle that caused him to miss 26 games last season and lingered until the offseason. So LeBron, he's had some tough injury luck since joining the Lakers. His first year in LA ended prematurely with a groin injury, and last season saw him miss 27 games, 26 with a high ankle sprain. The only season in which he didn't sustain a significant injury, the Lakers went on to win the championship. So for more on LeBron James, we now are joined by ESPN senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski. Adrian, thanks for being here. The day started with LeBron being listed as probable versus the Spurs. So what caused him to be downgraded?
Malika, that ankle is still sore. And so I'm told LeBron James will get to the arena in San Antonio tonight and test it out, see how it feels. Remember, the Lakers have a back-to-back with the Spurs and Thunder tomorrow. And so, they'll get their pregame. He'll test it out and see if it's a go.
So we mentioned it before bringing you in, Woj. This is the same ankle that caused LeBron to miss 26 games last season. How concerned are the Lakers with LeBron's ankle moving forward?
Malika, there's not concern about this particular injury. I'm told that it is not any sort of a recurrence, from that injury last year that cost him a couple months when Solomon Hill collided with him. And he was out, and LeBron James has talked about this offseason, having really took 2 months off and two months away to rest that ankle. That this is just, they hope, a blip in his season, and certainly there's no reason to push it week one of the NBA season. But I think there's some optimism that he can be back here in short order.
Thank you so much, Woj. I really appreciate it. Don't go too far in case there are any further developments here. So I said there was a loss. It was actually a win for the Lakers. But there's a lot to talk about here with LeBron. Senior writer Zach Lowe is going to join us. But Vince, you dealt with ankle injuries over the course of your career.
Still dealing with it.
So what's the key? What's the key to coming back, to working back from that?
Obviously, it's, sometimes we as athletes, and I think you'll agree with this, need to be saved from ourselves. And we feel, once we feel a little better, we're ready to go and hop back on the court. So LeBron is smart, and he's been through this before, and he understands he needs to be on the court and he needs to play games. So right now, it's just do what it takes, but be smart about it. You're in the back-to-back, and you have a very good basketball team. Yes, They're not winning right now, but it's more important to have you later on in the season than trying to tough it out now, early in the season.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's smart to be smart about this, and you're absolutely correct. It's so early, and we know that everyone needs LeBron James. If you're in Los Angeles and a Lakers fan, you need him later on, so be conservative. And I do see this, I'm all about silver linings.
Okay.
I see this as an opportunity for Russell Westbrook to get going. Last game versus the Grizzlies, he had 13 assists. Anthony Davis is an MVP candidate each and every year. He's had a great start. I think he's averaging like 26 points per game early. And so this is a great opportunity for them to find a little bit of their mojo, right? To feel confident so when LeBron James joins, they know and they have that synergy playing together. So, I think you're conservative with LeBron. I'm not panicking because this man, for the most part, is made of steel.
Right.
And he will return whenever he sees fit. And so if he comes back soon, I'm not surprised. If he comes back later, I'm not surprised.
And then to add to that, I think, when LeBron comes back, if your team team is playing well, he understands where he can incorporate himself and kind of get back into it because he has the ball in his hands a lot. But I agree with you. Getting Anthony Davis going, getting Westbrook, and even like Malik Monk, getting your guys, your others to get going and feeling good about themselves, then they can hit their stride.
Absolutely. And we don't know yet exactly whether or not LeBron James is going to play. We're saying if he misses time, those are the guys you're going to be looking at to step up. Who would you be looking at, Mr. Zach Lowe?
To step up, all the guys, all of the above. Get Russ going in rhythm, give Malik Monk going in rhythm, get Kent Bazemore to stop fouling everybody, including John Moran, who's in the studio. Get him in rhythm. Just get all those guys in rhythm. But look, LeBron is third all-time in minutes, playoffs and regular season combined. Third. Only Kareem and Karl Malone have played more, and he's coming up on Karl. He's an unprecedented player, but he's entering unprecedented territory for a player to play at the level that the Lakers need him to play if they're going to get where they want to go. So it behooves the Lakers to take it easy with him. Look, his free throws are down. His rim attempts are down. He's been playing more of a jump shooting game before this ankle sprain. So I agree with what Chiney said, what Vince said. Take it easy. Play the long game. Let Russ cook for a bit. Let the kids, when they come back, like Taylor Horton-Tucker, let him cook for a bit. Take your time.
Let the kids cook for a little bit. Let them chill. So Chiney, when you hear that about the minutes played that LeBron James has accrued over the course of his career, what do you think? Should that factor in at all?
I think it's slow ride. Take it easy. I know I'm not supposed to sing here, and I'm going to get our producers in trouble. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think that this is all about, like Zach said, being extremely conservative. And I like to let Russ cook, but we're not talking NFL. We're talking NBA, okay? This is a great opportunity for the Lakers. I think it'll allow them to realize we have to be locked in. After their first and early losses, Frank Vogel was saying we spent a lot of time in video on defense. And without LeBron James there saving you on the help side or getting that catching and going and pushing the transition, it's going to reset them to really rely on each other.
Yeah, lady and gents, there's never a good time for an injury, but the Lakers' next 10 games are certainly favorable. Only 2 of their opponents, just 2, Portland and Miami, are playoff teams from last season. So this could be a good stretch for LeBron to get back to 100% if that is what's needed. But there is so much to get into around the NBA. So let's go coast to coast to get you caught up on Monday's action, starting with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who made his first start at center and almost had a triple-double. He finished with 30 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists in the Bucks win at center. So then we have to look at the Nets. They got back on track when they beat the Wizards behind KD's 25 points. They were 2-2. Durant scored 25. So then we go to Jason Tatum and the Celtics. They overcame a 12-point deficit in the fourth quarter, handed the Hornets their first loss of the season. And coming up on NBA Today, Vince Carter, you're taking us to the upper room. You won't want to miss Vince Sandy's picks for the best dunks of the week.